but still stuck with money?
Let's be real. The best time to get your money right was yesterday. The next best time is today. I know, I get it. I've been there. Credit card debt, bills piling up, and not taking those calls. I was making good money, but still living paycheck to paycheck. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was embarrassed and I was ashamed. Can you relate? But I have good news. You can take action today. It's not too late. Hi, I'm Dignity Coach MarieYolaine, and I am here to empower you to reclaim dignity in your finances. When I moved to New York, like 20 years ago, I remember that the pace of the place was a lot faster than I was used to coming from Maryland. And one of the challenges that I first had was the subway. So I would get on the subway with my map, which was this big, this wide, trying to get from Queens to Brooklyn or from Queens to Manhattan. And I would look at this map and be like, and I love New Yorkers because if a New Yorker sees you and you do not know where you're going, it's like the cape comes on and they immediately are like, where are you trying to go? And when you tell them, oh my goodness, they'll give you like 15 different options. You can take the A, you can cross over to the 405, or you can go the local 6. They have been entrenched in this for decades, especially the folks who were born here. So it takes them like 2 seconds to figure it out. I had to make multiple mistakes where I thought I was going towards Manhattan, but I was going in the complete other direction. But it took me like, oh my goodness, 10 stops later, then I'd have to get out, cross the street, pay again for the second time to go in the other direction. Some of this was pride because I was like, I'm an adult. I should already know this. I should understand uptown and downtown. Why is this so difficult? Then I humbled myself and I would ask for help because it took me a little while to understand this map. And I thank all the New Yorkers who helped me. And I thank the ones who literally would walk me to where I needed to go even after I got off the train because they were going in the same direction that I was going in. So it's like we partnered up. This is the same way that you should feel about your financial planner. If you are trying to manage your finances and you don't have a map of how much you have, what you want to do with it, and where you want to go, you'll be in my situation. You'll be going in the wrong directions for like 10 stops. Then when you realize you're going in the wrong direction, you have to get off, pay again just to go in the right direction. So today I'm hoping to save you a whole lot of drama and time and money by not only providing you the information, but actually talking to the person who can help you to do that, to get to where you're trying to go with a plan that will help you to get there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dignity in Dollars, where we focus on addressing our fears, our limiting beliefs to make income and make impact. I'm Coach MarieYolaine, and I'm so glad that you're here with us today. Taxes are due April 15th. All right, release the pearls. It's every year, April 15th. And for a lot of people, that means stress, confusion, and scrambling. Then on top of that, when we hear words like estate planning, many people immediately think that's for rich people. That's not for me. But that's not true. The truth is, planning is not just for people who have millions. Planning is for people who want to be prepared. Planning is for people who are building something. Planning is for people who do not want to leave their future, their family, or their finances up to chance. So today, we're talking about how to stop reacting and start preparing. We're talking about taxes, estate planning, and how to make wiser financial decisions with clarity, dignity, and intention. How you handle your money today and today's money decisions can either support your future or leave you scrambling in it. I'm excited to tell you that one of our, we can say, Dignity in Dollars favorites is back with a wealth of information. Yes, I know that you're wondering, who is that? That is Jarrett L. Jacobson. So I'm excited to welcome him back as a trusted guide in the world of financial clarity. My financial planner, Jarrett L. Jacobson, with over 23 years of experience, Jarrett helps individuals and families simplify their finances, reduce uncertainty, and build long-term confidence around their money. As a certified financial planner and chartered retirement planning counselor, he specializes in creating personalized strategies across investing, tax planning, retirement, insurance, and estate planning. What makes this conversation especially important is this: taxes and estate planning are not separate from the rest of your financial life. They are part of how you protect what you are building, prepare for what is ahead, and make sure your money is working with intention. Please help me welcome Jarrett. I know they already clapped for you, but I didn't get to do it, so I'm doing it myself too.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
How you doing, Jarrett? I'm happy to see you.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm feeling a little under the weather. I was traveling recently, and you know how it is when you go through airports. So,
Yeah,
but I'm doing all right.
I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, we need you healthy, bro. So let's drink all the tea and the water and take all the vitamin C you need. So especially right now in this tax season. So
Oh yeah.
taxes are due in April, and it's this time of the year that brings a lot of stress for people. Why is tax season such an important time for people to pause and really take a closer look at their financial habits and planning?
Yeah. So tax season kind of forces everyone to look at their money, even people who normally avoid it, and that's actually a good thing. It's one of the few times a year where you're looking at your income, what you paid in taxes, what you saved, sort of all in one place. So the stress people feel often comes from uncertainty or feeling left behind, and taxes can shine a light on habits that either support their goals or work against them. So this is a perfect moment to take action rather than letting another year go by on autopilot.
Mm. Let me ask you this before I go on to the second question. Why do you think people do that? What is it about money and taxes, April 15th? What do you think that causes that they will go into denial or avoidance?
Because if we don't like what we see or how we feel, it's like an ostrich. You put your head in the sand, you don't want to think about it. We just keep moving. And I tell clients at the beginning of the year, hey, this is the time where we're going to put a plan in place. But now it's March, and time for talking about our New Year's resolution is over. It's time to take action.
Exactly. So they did have some time, and that time has passed. So now they have to quick fast get it together.
Correct. There's a deadline, right? Everybody knows it's April 15th, so it kind of pushes. You can't push the can down the road anymore. You got to take action.
There you go. I love what you said. Take action. So when people are looking at their taxes, what are some of the key questions they should be asking themselves? Like, for example, are they in the right tax bracket, paying the correct amount of taxes? Did they choose the right, exemption? What are the questions?
Sure. I'd say the big thing is asking a simple but important question like, do I actually understand how my income is being taxed? A lot of people think they're paying the highest rate on all of their money or all of their income, and
Mhm.
that's not how it works. It's progressive. So the more money you make, you pay a higher rate on the highest or the highest piece. But the first 10 or 20,000 is actually tax free. Another one is withholding. Are you getting a massive refund or a surprise tax bill every year? That usually means something's off. And then are you taking advantage of things like retirement accounts, health savings accounts, deductions that could lower your tax bill? Taxes aren't just paperwork, they're actually clues to a bigger picture and what we could be doing that's healthy financially for you.
So you're talking like a financial advisor, right?
Exactly.
So this is the kind of conversation that you're having with your clients. So
Correct.
these for me is a great time to talk about why somebody needs a financial planner, right? What is the difference between like the person who's trying to do this by themselves and when they do it with you?
So I think the big thing is that this is what I do for a living, right? I do it every single day. So there's a lot of I give the example of when you go to an accountant, that's a reactive scenario, whereas they're taking all of your information, they're doing your taxes, and they're saying, okay, you owe or you're getting back. What I do is I'm proactive. I want to take a look at your cash flow, how you're saving your money, and then making sure that you're saving that money that's tax efficient. So you get either tax-free growth or you have tax-free money in the future. And that's just one aspect because we're talking about taxes.
Mhm.
Also, medical bills and health bills. You can use an HSA tax-free to pay those bills, and it can carry over from year to year. So you may be healthy today, but 20 years from now, that may not always be the case. So
Mhm.
there are a lot of things that we can do, actions we can take to help save money in taxes and grow money tax-free.
So this is why, again, I say that if you make money, you need a financial planner. If you have finances, you need a financial planner. This is not a, how do I say, a privilege that only the few get. If you are making money, only one of two things is happening. Your money is working for you, or you are working for your money. And at some point, when we start working in, I don't know, babysitting, that was for me the first time
Mhm.
that I actually made money doing a service or providing a service. That then no one told me anything about that. I just wanted to make money to spend it, right? And that is the treadmill or the road that we get on. And I repeat this in all of the workshops, all of my anytime I'm on a panel, is that we are taught to make money and spend money. But there's really five. It's make money, save money, invest money, give money, then spend money. Because if we make money and we spend money, those other three, not happening.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
They're not happening. And so it takes time to learn that. And having a financial planner is also someone who could be your collaborator and your partner in your finances to teach you these things. Because as Jarrett said earlier, I'm a professional. This is what I do. Unless you have time to go back to school and get an accounting, financial management, or become a certified financial planner, having a financial planner is the best thing. It's money well spent because that investment, you're getting education, you're getting information, and you're getting counsel that will help you to make the best decisions about your money, right? Because I suspect that your clients, it's more like a set it and check it because of the fact that they've made decisions in January that now in March, they're like, whew, thank goodness I made those decisions that I'm not scrambling, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And time is the most important thing. We all have a limited amount of time on this earth. So where do you want to spend? You want to spend time studying finances, studying charts, or studying taxes, or do you want to spend time with your friends, your family, your children? So if you basically pay somebody to do some of that worrying and education and experience on your behalf, then you don't have to take the time to do it. I went through many years of education and 23 years of experience and wisdom in the markets and in financial planning so that you don't have to do it.
Exactly. That's for me is music to my ears. So getting back to the taxes, if someone gets a tax refund, how should they think about it? Save it?
Sure.
What should they do with it?
Well, first off, I always tell people a refund isn't free money. It's money that was already yours. You just gave it to the government interest free for the last year. So I don't
Mhm.
advocate that, right? So the question is, what's the smartest use for it now? If someone has a high interest debt or no emergency savings, that's usually the best place to start. For others, it might make sense to put that money toward the long-term goal, like a down payment for a home, your retirement savings, or a high-yield savings account for flexibility. The key is alignment, though. The refund should support what you're trying to build and not disappear into short-term spending without a purpose, which you sort of mentioned already.
Mm. So I love what you said. Can you repeat that again? You said the refund is not free money.
It's not. It's your money that's they took throughout the course of the year. You had more taxes withheld than you should have, and then when you do your taxes, they then give it back to you as a refund. So you didn't earn any interest on that money throughout the course of the last year, and it could have been sitting in a savings account earning 3%, but you gave it to the IRS instead. They have plenty of our money. We don't need to give them any more.
Agreed. The reason I wanted you to repeat it is because this is a mindset. This is a belief of a lot of people that, oh, I can't wait to get my tax refund,
Yeah,
meaning this is something that they're giving to me.
correct.
So I wanted to lean into that so people understand this is your money that you gave to them
Yep,
and they're giving it back to you.
exactly.
So this is not they're doing something special for you. It was always your money that they did take out of your paycheck, and they took too much, and they've already gotten the interest on it. They've turned it over,
Correct.
did all of the things,
Yep,
and then you're getting it back. So the mindset of, oh, I got this text, I'm going to go on a vacation, I'm going to go spend it. Wrong move.
yep,
Again, why you need a financial planner. I loved what you also said, which was the decision you're going to make about that is where you are and where you want to be.
hmm
So it's not a one size fits all for what
correct.
to do with your tax return, right?
Yep,
I
exactly.
love it. Okay, so let's go a little bit. We already said about the estate planning and that mindset. Let's roll into that a little bit more. A lot of people think I'm not rich, I don't have an estate, so I don't need a plan. Why is this mindset dangerous, and what do people misunderstand about estate planning?
Sure. This one comes up all the time. People think estate planning is only for rich families, like you mentioned, and that couldn't be further from the truth. It's really about control and clarity. Who's making decisions if something happens to you, right? Who gets access to your accounts? Who's taking care of your children? If you don't make those choices, the state does, and that's usually not what people want. Even a basic plan can save your family tons of stress down the road, and after a death, that's emotionally, it's not a good time to start stressing about the finances as well.
Exactly. So thank you for reiterating that. Um, when people, I think less about the money and more about the kind of life that they want to have, the kind of life that they want for their family and their children, that is a different motivator. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it changes your mindset about what you value. And oftentimes people are like, oh, I live in an apartment, right? Or I just have a car. But again, meeting with a planner, putting everything out on the table, you may not even know the things at your job that you're not using, that they're offering you, that can help you to increase your, how do I say, your wealth,
Yep.
right? And then what's going to happen to that when you're not here? So I think when we think about what we care about, not the I'm not rich, because that's a blanket statement that
Mhm.
is relative, right? As opposed to I care about myself, I care about my family. How am I going to make sure that I am having the kind of life I would like to lead? Because as you said, and we talked about this earlier before the show, I don't know how many people have seen this, but there was a elderly gentleman who was delivering DoorDash. A man had ordered DoorDash for his daughter, and when he went to go open the door, the person delivering it was a 78-year-old man.
Yeah.
And in his mind, he was like, what is this 78-year-old man doing delivering DoorDash? So he had a conversation with him, and the gentleman said that, his wife had lost her job and that their Social Security, et cetera, their pension was not enough. So he had to get a job. And the man said, why is this 78-year-old man delivering food to my able-bodied 16-year-old daughter? Right. And had to start a whole GoFundMe for him. But that's not going to happen for everybody. That's not going to happen for everybody. And what we pray for is that we're all going to be 78 at some point, but we also
Yep.
do not want to be delivering DoorDash at 78. Today is the time to make sure that that doesn't happen, not at 78. So I'm appreciative of what you're saying, that and expanding people's mindsets about what is estate planning. So thank you, Jarrett. I really appreciate that. If someone listening today knows that they have been reacting instead of planning, what is the best first step they can take to become more prepared and start protecting what they are building?
I think a good first step would just be organization and clarity. To take inventory. What are you earning each year? What do you owe in liabilities? What do you own? And what are you saving? From there, I would just define one or two priorities instead of trying to fix everything at once, right? Because then you kind of get demoralized when it's all not happening. And I use the gym as an example, right? The first couple of weeks people go back to the gym in January, you don't see a six pack and you don't see your arms and muscles getting bigger or losing weight. It takes time and commitment. It's not going to happen overnight. There's no silver bullet. But and planning, it's not about perfection. It's just about progress. Once you have clarity and once you have the right roadmap for what you want, a professional like myself or anybody can help turn uncertainty into a strategy. So instead of reacting to life as it happens, you're making informed decisions that protect what you're building and give you more confidence moving forward. And I kind of gave the example prior to our conversation today. If you're standing in Midtown Manhattan and I tell you you got to get to Wall Street, but then I give you a map of Chicago, just because you have a map in your hand, it's not going to help you. So you got to have the right map and you got to have the right direction and be led in the right direction. And I think people who, they come to me initially and they're doing a lot of really good things, but they're not coordinated. There's no alignment with the strategy. So sometimes you have strategies that they're doing for taxes, but then they have their investments either very aggressive or very conservative, and that's hurting them towards their progress towards retirement. Or if you have a savings account and you don't have a beneficiary designated, you pass away, nobody can touch that account until it goes through the state and you go through probate, which could take years. So having plans in place for contingencies and just knowing you're in the right path, I think alleviates a lot of that stress in the event something does bad happen. And when did Noah build the ark? Before the storm. We want to plan and put things in place before the storm happens. So
I 100% agree with what you're saying, especially as it relates to the map. And when the emergency starts, or when the torrential downpour starts, is not the time. You are now in emergency. So planning happens before, not in the emergency, right? So I want to make sure I have two closing. One, is there anything I did not ask that you want people to know as it relates to taxes, estate planning, and their finances that I may not have asked you?
No, I think you covered a lot of it. I mean, taxes, it gives a lot of people stress, and including myself. You start to worry about, okay, am I taking advantage of all the opportunities that I could be? And throughout the year, life's very busy, right? We have our own lives, our own families, day-to-day jobs. So using and leaning on a professional like myself is very helpful because we know what to look for. We know how to cut through the noise. To find out, where you're at and what maybe you should be doing. And it's not about you're going to come to me and I'm going to tell you, oh, you need to save all this money to accomplish these goals. I want to work with what you have. So if you're saving $500 a month, whatever it is, I might say, well, that $500 is good, but you want to redirect some of it to this tax-free bucket or to your emergency fund or to your liabilities to pay them down sooner, because the liabilities are earning 20% compounding interest versus 3% in the bank. So, I'm going to help structure that. So it's not necessarily about coming to me because we're going to save more money. Obviously, that's the objective over time, but it's about working with what you have, in terms of financial planning. And then estate planning, again, having a plan in place is better than no plan any day of the week.
Agreed. I'm going to repeat that for those who may be sitting in the back. Number one, work with what you have, he said. So whether it is $500, $700, it doesn't matter. Whatever that you have, start there. This is really important because I think people are also often thinking, well, when I have $1 million, I'll have $100,000. When I have $10,000, then I'll go, and get a financial planner. He said $500, y'all. Come with what you have, because the goal is to build on that, right? And then the second thing was plan. You need a plan. Flying by the hair of your chinny chin chin is not a plan. It's not. And when the emergency happens is not the time to be like, oh my gosh, what do I do with my money? This is why the statistics show that most Americans are 2 paychecks away from a disaster. 2 paychecks. And here's the kicker. It doesn't say how much. It could be a family that's making $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month. It would take one medical emergency to have $0. One. So having these things in place, I can say for myself and for the clients I work with in Focused Fire, the folks who take the workshop, the boot camp, or in our community, is all of them say the same thing: financial peace. That's what they want. I'm going to shout out Sheila Donald Johnson, who's here in the who's watching on Facebook, and saying that she's the things she's hearing about that she's never looked at them this way. So thank you, Sheila. I appreciate you being here. Jarrett, this information for me, I will say, and I think arguably say other people, when you provide the information that you bring to us, it literally takes my blood pressure down. It literally does, because I think 99% of this is I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 1% is I don't even know who to ask.
Yeah.
Right. So hearing this information and Sheila saying, I've never looked at it this way. So people are walking around mainly in ignorance of this. But as soon as the light bulb of information of becoming financially literate, of knowing that you have access to resources, that you have access to a financial planner, the blood pressure comes down.
Yeah.
So one of the most loving things that y'all can do for yourself and for the people that you are connected with to your life is to prepare. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Not out of fear and trepidation, but out of focus and clarity, out of having a plan. Yeah. Preparation is not fear. Preparation is wisdom. Preparation is care. And whether that means getting clear about your taxes or finally putting an estate plan in place, the goal is the same. Protect what you are building. Jarrett, how can people get in contact with you?
Yeah, so the best way to get in contact with me is probably using the in the chat there. There's a link to my website or my email. You can also give me a call at any time. My phone number is 914-373-6860. I do a lot of virtual meetings with clients. I'm happy to speak to anybody. There's no cost. There's no obligation to work together. We'll spend 30 minutes over the phone or via virtual meeting. And we'll talk in more detail about what your goals and priorities are. I'll give you a little bit more information about how I can help you and how I work with my clients. And then we'll go from there. But I'm happy to speak to anybody at any time. You just reach out. I'm happy to do so.
And I can co-sign that. I'm a witness. One of the things that gives me peace in talking to Jarrett, that when I will go on MSNBC or Yahoo Finance, and I'll read things as well. And I know you all are watching the news now. It feels like we're on an emotional roller coaster right now. To have somebody who can pick up the phone and go, listen, I'm watching this. Is this for real? Yeah. Is this something I need to be concerned about? What's really going on? That right there, just having that, as opposed to I now have to go 17 different places to find this information out. But here's what I'm telling you that I know that Jarrett does. He's already read all of the articles. He's already on Yahoo Finance. He's already on MSNBC watching all of these things. He's already on Bloomberg. So when I call, I know that he's going to be like, oh yeah, I saw all this. Here are your options. Here's what's going on. And that's worth the price of admission. So Jarrett, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for helping us make these topics feel clearer, more practical, more approachable, and less scary and stressful. I appreciate the way you always bring both wisdom and calm to the conversations that many, many people avoid. Yes. Okay. Well, Sheila has your number. All right. And Great. Sheila said that it definitely pressure. She gets that. Yeah. See, we all feel it. Let's just put it out there. Right.
Yeah.
So we're grateful to have you here. And for everyone who's listening, if today's conversation resonated with you and you'd like support on your own financial planning, you can connect with Jarrett for your financial planning needs using the contact information that's in the comments, in the description. And you know what I'm going to say now, right, Jarrett? Come back.
Yeah, I will. It'd be my pleasure. I'd love to.
Come back, because you're educating people and people are feeling less stressful, and I'm here for that. You're welcome, Sheila Donald Johnson. I love your name. So thank you, everybody who's in the chat. We appreciate everybody who's watching today. So Jarrett, thank you for being here again. And I'll see you when you come back for the next conversation we're going to have.
We'll talk soon. Looking forward to it. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Woo! Listen to me. That was some good information. You should feel now in March, and he'll be back, and God knows we're going to restream this for everybody who didn't get to see it. This is the information that you need to make better decisions. This is why I do the work that I do, because I remember how ignorant I was. How, God bless them, my parents tried, but they didn't know either. And their parents probably didn't know either. And this system is not set up for you to be a producer. It's set up for you to be a consumer and to be ignorant about this whole system that is literally being built on you. They hope that you will not become financially literate. They hope that you will not get a financial planner, that you will not understand how money works, that you will continue to work for money instead of having your money work for you. That money will master you as opposed to you mastering your money. Because I'm telling you, before many people are ready to sit down with a financial planner, they need clarity. They need to understand their habits, their numbers, their patterns, their limiting beliefs, and fears about money in order to plan their next steps. That is my work. This is my jam. This is why I'm so passionate about financial literacy. So I encourage you, go to focusfire.life. Our next workshop is going to be uploaded, the time rather, is going to be uploaded very soon. If you do not see it on there, just put your name and the contact information. You'll be added to our mailing list, so you'll be the first to know when the next 4 Keys to Master Your Money Without a Budget You Hate is happening, and that you can sign up, because it's time, y'all. As Jarrett also said, we only have a limited amount of time on this earth. Don't you want to spend it with your family, your friends, your kids, traveling, being an artist, learning culinary skills, ice skating like myself, all the wonderful things that you want to do, as opposed to wringing your hands and worrying about money and looking at your month and being, oh my gosh, there's more month than there is money. This is not a life. That's just stress, which is going to end up impacting you physically, emotionally, spiritually. Why? When there is a solution to the problem. As I said at the beginning, when you are trying a new thing, like I was when I moved to New York, you can get a map, but you're going to need help. You're going to need some folks who've already gone to the place where you're trying to go. Shout out to all the New Yorkers out there who helped me. Again, you're going to make sure that you're going in the right direction so you don't go 10 stops in the wrong direction, then have to pay again, then have to go across the street and go back down. And you'll be late to wherever it is that you're trying to go. Don't be late with your life. Be on time. Get your money right. So if this conversation today has challenged you, let it also move you. Do not wait until the pressure gets worse to pay attention to what needs to be taken care of now. Taxes are due in April, yes, but preparation is bigger than one deadline. Preparation is about how you steward your money, your future, and what you are building. And if you know you need help getting clear on your money, your habits, your next steps, I invite you to join me at my next 4 Keys to Master Your Money Without a Budget You Hate. So visit focusfire.life and sign up, or sign in and we'll make sure that you get the information. Thank you for being here with us today on Dignity and Dollars. Please like, share, and follow for more. Remember, your money should not control your life. Your money should support your life. You're allowed to make intentional choices. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to heal your relationship with money. And as always, remember, all of these desires that you have in your heart, of all of these things you want to do, what you desire, you deserve. Thank you for being with me today, praying healing and peace with your money over you today. I'll see you next time.